Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be talking about the 6 books I read in December, and I'm also going to pick my January, actually that's crazy, January TBR. For my TBR for December I had 6 books on there and I only read 3 of them, and I'm also in the middle of one, so I've read technically 4, I guess, 3.5. But the first book I read for November was Tomorrow for December. So I originally went into this book thinking, okay, I'm gonna love it, everyone around me loves it. Lacey, my sister, loves it. She says it's like one of her favorite books. Like all the reviews I see of it is so amazing. Everyone's just like, you have to read this book basically. So I went into this book with very high expectations, and honestly I do think that let me down, because it wasn't the worst book I've read, but I also just found it quite boring. I'm not sure, I just read it at the wrong time, but I have had it on my TBR cart for a while and I just wanted to get it out of the way, so I just think it wasn't for me. I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. Now I would generally rate a book a 3 if it's just like like it's not bad, but it didn't make me feel anything like crazy. But no, I just wasn't very interested, so that's the first book off my TBR. The next book I read was actually Throne of Glass. Now I got these books for my birthday this month, and as soon as I got them I'm like, I have to read it, I have to. I rated this a 5-star. I loved it and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. It's about an assassin named Selena, and she's like in this competition to be the king's like champion and work for the king, and then she'll end up being free in like 4 or 5 years time, I believe it was. So I love the premise of the book, I love the storyline, love the characters, loved everything about it. I did take longer to read this book than I think I thought I would, but I think that was also because I was on a holiday. But nonetheless, can't wait to read the rest of the series. 5-star for sure. The next book I read was Maybe Someday. I rated this a 1.5. I did not enjoy it really at all. I didn't want to DNF it, but in retrospect I probably should have, because I just never wanted to read it. I didn't find the characters interesting. I hate the cheating trope. I know everyone loves like killers and like all this stuff, but as soon as someone cheats you're like, ugh. But no, I hate cheating in books, I really do. Yeah, I just didn't really connect to the characters, I guess. I didn't like the characters. I definitely way prefer some of Colleen Hoover's other books. And the next book I read was Binding 13. I've had this on my TBR cart for months, and Lacey's always telling me, oh, you need to read it, you'll love the series, like everything. And I love the series so much, I've already got the next one. It's so easy to connect to the characters, I feel like, because it's just so easy to like follow their storylines, and they go through so many different things, like on completely different spectrums. Like she's going through a lot more outwardly, I'd say, and he's going through a lot more internally and not wanting to disappoint people, and she's also not wanting to disappoint people, but she's getting disappointed in the process and like heartbroken, and like they come together and they fall in love, and it's I feel like a very realistic storyline, and I think that's why I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to read the next one. Then the next book I read was One by One by Frida McFadden. Now, I got this book for Christmas, which was literally like not even a week ago, and I've already read it. I really wanted just a simple, small book, and it's very short, it's under 300 pages, which gets a bonus point, obviously. Really. I wanted a small, like, easy book to read. I've only read the Housemaid series, but even that, I do find her reading very easy to read, very easy to follow. It keeps me hooked because it's so suspenseful. And I feel like I've never actually heard anyone talk about this book, and I think it's very underrated because it's probably one of my top books of the year, I'd say. It's basically about a lady called Claire who is going on a little getaway with her husband Noah, who they hate each other. They don't have a good relationship. They've been married for like 20 something years. They started to hate each other. Just not a good relationship overall. And they're going on this getaway with 2 other couples. One is her best friend from college and one is his best friend from college, and they're partners. They're going on this mini getaway, and throughout the book there's lots of lies that are uncovered, and the minivan actually ends up breaking down, and like some weird shit happens, and they have to trek their way through this forest to find the inn they're meant to be staying at. And as the story goes on, like, people start going missing, dying, like, and no one really knows what is happening. So I was just on the edge of my seat the entire time. It's one of those books where you have no clue who it is, but like you really do. When you really think about it, you're like, yeah, I know who it is, but it makes no sense for it to be that person, but it does at the same time. You catch my drift? That didn't make any sense. I did guess who it was, so pat on the back for me. But no, I love that book, 5 stars from me. And the final book I read for December was The Naturals. I also got this book for Christmas, actually, and I've wanted to read this series for a very, very, very long time because I love Criminal Minds, and it's basically these teenagers that are so gifted that they're working for the FBI, and there's like a little couple. They're just very gifted individuals working for the FBI, and even the people in the FBI like how these teenagers so gifted. And I can't wait to read the rest of the series and see how similar it actually is to Criminal Minds, because it's one of my favourite series. So they were the 6 books I read in December, and now I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick 4 or 5 TBR prompts for January, because I feel like I need to give myself some more room, because I generally would just pick up a different book even if it's not my TBR, and then I feel guilty. So let's go and pick my January TBR. I just want it to be November, clearly. Okie dokie. Some books I'm hoping to get to this month. I really would like to read the 6th Harry Potter book, because that was on my December TBR and I didn't get to it. I would love to. I would also love to read Keeping 13, because I feel like it'd be good for me to read it like one after the other. I would love to get to one of the books in the Inheritance Games, because I've wanted to read that. I would love to read a book in the Inheritance Games, because I wanted to read that series for so long, and I got that for Christmas. This is my gift. His name is Mac. Let's get to picking. First prompt. A book under 300 pages. Love that prompt. Love it, because I would much rather read a short book and really get into it than a super long book that I might lose interest in after 300 pages. Let's just pick the books that I would like to read and see how many pages. Happy Place, would love to read. Over 300 pages though. Never Lie by Freddie McFadden. Perfect, 296 pages. Butcher and the Blackbird. If you know, you know. Really want to get to this one. I think it's over. It is. I honestly reckon the only book I have that is under 300 pages would be this one. So for the month of January and the prompt, a book under 300 pages, I'm going to read Never Lie by Freddie McFadden. Now, I'm not actually entirely sure what this is about. I just know it's one of the more popular books. But I can assume what it'd be about, because all her books are like relatively similar. So this is the first book. And the next prompt. A book you're convinced you won't like. Okay. Now this is hard, because I feel like, especially now, majority of the books on my cart, I'm pretty positive I'll like. So I'll pick one I'm kind of unsure if I'll like. So the obvious choice for me is a romance, because I just often find it difficult to fully get into romance books. I'm not sure about Lola in the Mirror. I know it's very highly ranked. It's always on like the top of all those like book lists and stuff. Every time I go to shops, it's like number 1 or 2. I started reading it a while ago and I just never picked it up again. I think it's just the wrong time for me. So possibly this one. I'm not entirely sure if I like it. Now, I'm not like convinced I won't like these, but I'm also not entirely sure if I will, because I honestly have no idea what these are about. I just know they're very popular romance book. So I could read the blue one, but this one, which is Flawless by Elsie Silver. I think I might pick this one because I got this for Christmas as well. My sister really likes these books, but I'm not sure if I will, only because I have no idea what it's about. All I know is it's romance. And I'm not completely convinced I'll like it. So for this prompt of a book you're convinced you won't like, I'm going to pick Flawless by Elsie Silver. Now, I'm not saying I'll definitely not like it. I honestly probably will like it. It's a very popular book. But it's just how people feel. Okay, the next prompt. A book that was published this year. Oh shit. I don't think I have any. I might have to do some research real quick. I'm terrible at knowing when books are published. I never know when a book's new. I don't look out for release dates really, unless it just randomly comes up. The only book I know that I want to read next year that's got a release date is Onyx Storm. So let's see. I'll just look up popular books released this year and I'll just see if I have any, I guess. I honestly don't think I have any, so I'm going to put that back in my jar and pick a different prompt. Sorry to disappoint. Someone's probably going to be like, this was published, and I have no idea, I'm sorry. Different prompt. The book that's been on your TBR the longest. Okay. There's a lot of options here. A lot. It won't be any of the ones on top because I said, I got majority for Christmas. Let me just take a little whiz. It's not these, obviously, unfortunately. I would love to get onto one of these this month. Okay. It could be one of these. Fury by Alex Michaelides. I have no idea how to say that, but this was on my TBR last month. I didn't get to it. It does sound interesting. I have no idea what it's really about. Never heard anyone talk about it. It does sound very interesting, so I could read this one. This book has also been on my TBR quite some time, but definitely not as long as The Fury, that's for sure. It would probably be one of these books on the bottom, either the Divergent series or the Hunger Games series, but I'm in the middle of so many series, I just don't want to read them at the moment. Honestly, this could be one. The Thursday Murder Club, which is a super popular series, but I started reading this, I think, could have either been my 20th birthday or my 21st birthday. So I'm 22 now, could have been one of them. And I started reading it and I hated it. Like, I really couldn't read it. Yeah, exactly. I got to page 60 and I gave up. But that's definitely been on my cart a very, 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 very long time. See, this is a good prompt because it will get rid of like books I haven't really even paid attention to in a while. Okay, now these three have also been in my TBR cart for a very long time. These are some of the books I got when I first started reading, I believe. This, You Have Me at a Hello by, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. No idea how to say that. A romance. Let's see, do I want to read another romance this month? Maybe, we'll see. Another one is The Moonlight Dreamers. Friendship Makes All the Difference by Siobhan Kerham. I don't know. This one could be interesting. It's relatively short. Don't really have an idea what it's about either. Or we could pick What We Saw by Aaron Hartzler, which has been on my TBR I don't know how long. I think it's like kind of a mystery vibe. So out of these 5, I'm trying to think which, it has to be one of these 2 that's been on my TBR cart the longest. What We Saw by Aaron Hartzler. No idea what this is about. Never read anything by this author. Haven't really heard anything about him either, so it could either be a really good thing or a super bad thing. But this is the book for a book that's been on my TBR cart the longest. Now, I'll pick 2 more because this is just too fun. Okie dokie. It's a long one. An author you didn't like a book from but want to give a second chance. Okay, I have the perfect book for this. Perfect book, and I'm very excited. Emily Henry. Hate's a very strong word. I feel like if I hated a book, I would have DNF'd it. So I strongly disliked You and Me on Vacation, and I have heard that that's one of people's least favorite books of hers. But I've never heard anything bad about Happy Place, and I really would love to love Emily Henry because I know so many people do. So for the prompt of an author you didn't like a book from but want to give a second chance, I'm going to go with Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I'm so excited to read this. I can't wait. That's been on my wish list for over a year, I'd say, and I just never picked it up. The 5th and final prompt for January TBR. Friends to Lovers. Now, this is hard because obviously I don't know what happens in the books. Like, I don't know who becomes friends to lovers, do I? I'm assuming, I'll have to do some research, but I'm assuming in these books by Sarah J. Maas that of some form it's friends to lovers. I'm gonna have to look that up because I actually have no idea. See, this is when it would be helpful if I knew what was going on, but I have no idea. I'll just look up, is Crown of Midnight friends to lovers? Sorry about that. My boyfriend's so needy. So I've read Throne of Glass. Some people say this is a big debate in these books, and it doesn't really make sense in my mind, but there's a big debate, like, do you read Assassin's Blade first or Throne of Glass or what? And the videos I saw, people read Throne of Glass and then Crown of Midnight and then Assassin's Blade. I don't really know, but I'm just going with the first video I saw, and if it's wrong, don't tell me because I'm going to do it anyway. From my research, I believe that Selena and Cale, they're friends and they become lovers. So I'm not sure if it's in this book or not, but this is an option because I'm just going with it. Okay, guys, don't even judge. Now, I technically could do Keeping 13 because are they in a relationship at the end of the Binding 13? Are they? They say they love each other, but are they? So, friends to lovers, we really know where this is going to go. This could be an option. I have no clue, like not even a single hint as to what these books are about. So, I'm not sure of the first one in this series. Is it Friends to Lovers aspect? Harry Potter. What book does Ron and Hermione get together? Because that's Friends to Lovers, isn't it? Let me look it up again. I don't know anything. I'm so stupid. It says the Goblet of Fire, but they do not get together in the Goblet of Fire. Don't be fooled. Book 7. Damn it. It took them a long time, didn't it? Jesus, Ron. Get your act together. This is such a hard prompt because I don't honestly know what any of my books are about. But I'm going to go with Crown of Midnight. I feel like this could be wrong, and if it's wrong, don't tell me. I'm not actually entirely sure. I just know that Cale and Selena are friends in the first book, and if this is supposed to be read after that, then surely something's gonna happen. And if it's not with him, it surely will be with the prince. Really, I just want to read another book in the series. Don't blame me. Okay. So this is my 5th and final prompt of friends to lovers. Can't wait. Okie dokie, guys. I know it's what you all been waiting for. Okay, these are my 5 books for January 2025. That is actually wild. I'm very excited to read all of these. I feel like that I've got some things in here I don't typically pick up, like specifically Flawless by Elsie Silver and Happy Place. Very curious about Happy Place, considering I hated the other book I read by her. I'm assuming this would be another 5-star because I've rated majority of Frida McFadden books I've read a 5. Very unsure about this, only because it's obviously been my TBR cup for so long. It could be a 5 out of 5, or it could be a 1. There could be a reason it was on there for so long. And Crown of Midnight, I'm so excited to continue this series, and if it's in the wrong order, don't tell me. Zip your lips. Shh. Okay? So yeah, I can't wait to read them all. And I know I've been making so many videos recently and just keep posting. I just have so many ideas and I just want to keep making the videos. I don't even care if no one watches them because I just am here to watch myself apparently. And to make videos for Lacey and Aiden and Tabitha and my mum. So my whole family, I'm just making videos for them. So if you don't like it, you can leave. So thanks for watching my video. I hope to see you again soon. I actually hated that I did that. I hate myself. I really hate myself. Okay, see you guys. See you in my next video.